Plan, shop, cook, eat. I just don't leave things to find time to do. I have all the time there, calendar, 1 week view. That is all the time that there is. There is no more time to find. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Harleigh and in this video I'm going to be explaining myself. I posted this on my Instagram story last weekend or maybe the weekend before, which is just a little preview of the spreadsheet that I used to meal prep for the week. And I had so many people messaging me like, you have a spreadsheet for your meals? What kind of alien are you? How are you this productive? How do you get things done? What if I don't want to eat the food that's on the spreadsheet? What do I do then? And then I posted another poll of, do you think I'm an alien? Do you wonder how I do all the things that I do and stay productive and organized? And I had 100% yes. So to anyone watching this, obviously you know I make YouTube videos. I also work a 9 to 5, so it's a 9:30 till 6, sometimes 7, but who says that? So there's a day job. Between both of those, which share the same skill set of video production and editing, I also freelance in that from time to time. I also run my own business, which is a home bakery business. I live alone now, so I'm responsible for the upkeep of my home, myself, feeding myself, watering myself, cleaning myself, all the things that come with just normal life. And it seems that no one knows how I manage to do all of these things. Sometimes simultaneously, but generally like every single week, day in, day out. If you also have a multifaceted life and you are a multi-hyphenate like me, video producer, editor, YouTuber, baker extraordinaire, then gather round, my children, gather round and let me share my secrets with you. First things first is that I am number one in my life, me. So these steps are kind of in order of self, then productivity, but self is required for productivity. And the most precious and sacred thing in my life, which is very important for the development of both yourself and your productivity, is sleep. I have to sleep 8 hours a day. 7 is okay, like maybe one night, 2 nights in a row tops, but then I have to get back into the swing of 8 hours. 10 is like the oh so sweet weekend spot, and anything longer than that I am jet lagged or have the flu. You may consider this the sleep of a teenage boy and I don't care. Because you know what else teenage boys do? They wake up early, they play football like 15 times a week, they can stare at screens and play games for hours, they go to school for a whole day every single day. So why would I not want the sleep that they have in order to do the amount of things that they do? Sleep is so important, and if you are not fully rested, then you are not ready to be the best you. I asked on my Instagram story for people to let me know what part of being productive they struggle with the most, and a lot of people said getting out of bed in the morning. And I feel like some of those responses were jokes, but it's important, and I too struggle with getting out of bed in the morning sometimes, maybe even today. But getting out of bed in the morning is so much easier when you are actually rested. Because for me, I will lay in bed and not get out of bed if I know I went to bed at 1 AM, because then I justify it to myself of, I've only had 5 hours sleep. I don't want to get out of this bed, I am still tired. You may recall from my 2021 goals video that rest as a whole is something that I really want to focus on this year, but sleep has never not been important to me. I have always been a good sleeper. I've always been somebody who wants to sleep, who has no problem with setting a bedtime and going to bed. When you don't sleep enough though, you might fall into this other trap that society have just kind of ticked as socially acceptable, and that is caffeine. Do not rely on caffeine. If you are tired, then you are tired. Contrary to popular belief and the way that we might talk about caffeine or having a coffee, caffeine does not give you energy. It is a chemical that tells your brain to tell the rest of your body that you're not tired anymore. It tells your heart that it's not tired, work harder. And if you're quite sensitive to caffeine, you will actually feel that. You will feel that your heart rate is elevated because your brain is telling every part of your body that it's not tired, work harder. But what it's not doing is repairing your exhausted body, your exhausted eyes, falling asleep at your desk. It's not giving you any brighter ideas. It is not making you any more productive. It is simply telling your body that you're just not tired anymore. You've suddenly forgotten that you were tired. And that's okay. I drink caffeine. I love tea. I will have a coffee once or twice a week, but I know why and I know what it's doing, and I don't see it as a substitute for sleep. If you feel yourself slipping into an energy drink, coffee in the morning to wake you up and get you out of bed kind of routine, then you might need to consider the next step, which is absolutely life-changing and crucial for me, which is to have a calendar. I'm going to do a separate video on this because I've talked about calendar blocking in quite a few of my productivity videos, and I always do refer to other people's calendar blocking videos, but I know it's a bit jarring when you're here with me and I'm telling you to go to somebody else. So I'm going to make that video for myself and for you guys on calendar blocking. But just the general gist of how it works and how I really use it to be productive is that I plot all my non-negotiables. everything in my calendar that I have absolutely no choice but to do, aka go to work. There is a calendar block across the entire week from 9:30 till 6 of work. Back to our first important non-negotiable, sleep. Bedtime is on my calendar. Your sleep hours, your workouts, if you have kids, the school run, anything that is completely non-negotiable, get it on the calendar straight up first thing. Calendar blocking is how I put all my YouTube tasks on a certain day. I put all my baking tasks at a certain time all together. Just any like tasks, I batch them and I get them done together. It stops your brain having to switch from one mode to another. Practically, it stops you from doing things like having to, you know, put your makeup on to do a YouTube video every single day versus putting your makeup on once and filming your videos in one day. Generally, I just don't leave things to find time to do. I have all the time there, calendar, 1 week view. That is all the time that there is. There is no more time to find. If it does not fit into any of these areas, there is no time. Put it to next week, put it to the week after. A big thing about staying productive is actually feeling productive, and you're only going to feel productive if you feel like you're accomplishing things. That's a big part of motivation as well. Motivating yourself to do something and finish something so that it can be done versus always like chasing something that you wanted to find time to do. When it comes to my calendar, I need access everywhere. So I personally use Google Calendar. Therefore, I have it on my phone. I have the actual widget for the Google Calendar on the front of my iPhone so I can see my current task and what I should be doing next. And that just helps me stay on track. I don't want my plan to be made and amazing, but be in the diary that's in the bottom of the bag that I've left at home and I'm not there anymore, I'm in the supermarket. No offense, paper is great. I'm very much a paper person, a to-do list person. Within those blocks of time, making those like sub lists, but generally for the bigger picture, I need that to be digital. Also in your time in plan to plan, leave an hour every Sunday where you are planning to plan for the following week. Allow 2 hours at the beginning of every month where you need to plan to plan. Other organization and productivity tools that I use which help me stay on different types of tasks are Notion. I saw a lot about Notion on YouTube last year and I'm not really like an expert yet, but I am absolutely loving it for actually just organizing my YouTube content. On my Google Sheets, I also have a annual finances budgetar tracker, which is kind of another thing in itself and might turn into another video. But I would say in the general scheme of organization and productivity, staying on top of your finances is very important. My grocery list is also ongoing and absolutely everywhere. For that, I use Microsoft To-Do List, I think it's called. My grocery list doesn't like integrate into my meal planner. It's literally just a list and a very simple spreadsheet of the 7 days of a week, 3 meals and snacks. But I'm fine with manually plotting that. Meal prep itself. This is like a full circle moment because this is what triggered people to wonder how the hell I have a spreadsheet for food in the first place. And I don't meal prep in the sense of like gym buff containers meal prep. I literally just mean like planning what meals I'm going to eat when. What days am I having cereal? Is there cereal? I also really like to have my spreadsheet because I will jot at the bottom things that are going out of date or things that have use by dates on them. Things like yogurts. If I bought yogurt because I'm going to do granola yogurt breakfast life, then I need to make sure that I've planned to eat the yogurt and granola on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because it's going off on Friday. And it allows you to make slightly smarter decisions for your food waste as well. So if I have some berries, which are notorious for going off quite quickly, raspberries particularly, and I want to have fruit or I want to have a smoothie, I know to use the berries before I use the apples. Like apples last forever. Same with things like potatoes, onions, all that kind of stuff versus things like spinach, broccoli, things that are going to go off faster. So I just like to be able to see a list of like, okay, these are the things I have going on in the fridge and the cupboard and this is their lifespan. So I just want to make sure I'm eating them in order that reduces the amount of food that ends up being wasted. Another question that came up from the whole meal planning thing was, what if I don't want to eat that food? How do I even know I want to eat that food on Wednesday? And you know, I don't fancy that food today. And my answer is suck it up. Like, suck it up. Look at your calendar and work out whether or not you have the time to stand in the kitchen every single day and think about what to make. Maybe even run to the supermarket every other day to pick up ingredients for the meals that you want that you don't have. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time because I didn't plan for it, and there's a waste of time. Why am I doing that? Why am I going to the supermarket every day to pick up one mushroom and one whatever? It's just nonsense. Plan, shop, cook, eat. And I completely understand not being in the mood for something. It happens to me all the time. And my answer to that is freezer. Keep something in the freezer that is just an alternative to anything that you would have meal prepped. For me, that is a frozen pizza and gyoza, I'm never gonna make gyoza and I'm never gonna make pizza. So the likelihood that I've got a curry and rice and don't fancy it, the stark contrast to, okay, we have pizza in the freezer that can also get done in the same amount of time it would take you to microwave this food. It might not be the garlic and herb butter lobster that I'm actually dreaming of, but will it get me through this evening without wasting any time? Yes. The last thing I want to say in this video about how I do it all is to prioritize. Some days it don't happen. It just doesn't happen. I've burned something, I've dropped something, I've forgotten an ingredient. Naturally, our lives are full of fluff. And at the beginning of the week, when we thought we were gonna have a perfect week and all the time in the world, we put a lot of that fluff in our calendars. So at the point when things are not going really well, again, like I said to you about your motivation and what you need to actually be productive, strip that fluff back out. It's not gonna work out today and tomorrow for me to do all of these things because I now have a cold. Strip out all the fluff and just prioritize on what really needs to get done. It might go all the way back to just those non-negotiables, but in order to stay motivated and feel productive, it does require some flexibility. But if things are not going your way on Monday, there is no point in chasing your tail for a whole week until you next plan to sit down with your calendar. That's another great reason why it's great to have it on your phone or somewhere that you can quickly adapt and be flexible. There are more things that I do, the importance of, you know, my workouts, the importance of my morning routine, getting up significantly before I go to work from home, loads and loads of other things that I do and other ways that I personalize the things that I've just spoken about. But considering how bewildered and shocked people were that I do all the things that I do and how I manage to do them, I think that's a good starting point for this video. It might seem like a lot of apps and a lot of time actually preparing, and your work time might seem really full of work. But for me, this is the best way to do more in order to do less. Having a full productive week to have a full restful weekend. Obviously, these tips will not be suitable for everyone. Some people have kids, some people are working in the real world and not from home, commute time, all these little things that really will eat into your calendar of your designated non-negotiables. Everyone can learn from someone, and I invite you to leave the productivity tips that work for your lifestyle in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video.